Hello, everybody. This is JavaTalk with Coach Grant Hieb, the head coach of baseball team here at USF. I'm your host, Zane Butts, and today we'll be discussing the USF baseball team and how it's been affected by COVID this year. For starters, Coach, where did it all start? How did you get to the position you are here today with baseball?
It started, well, thanks for having me, Zane, but it started coaching high school ball and Legion baseball, and then got on staff here as a volunteer, worked my way up the ladder just basically through hard work and gaining knowledge. And when the old Skip took off for another job in California, I got the opportunity to take over, and I'm now going on my 5th year and been learning and trying to improve every year. And hopefully that'll show in some wins and losses this spring.
Yeah, absolutely. I guarantee we'll be scratching some wins across the board this year.
Good.
All right, but let's jump into it. How has COVID impact the baseball team? I know it did last year, so you could touch on that, but how is it affecting this year as well?
Well, I feel like the culture of the program has shifted tremendously in the last couple of years, and it was starting to show up on the field last spring. We were 5-8, which is good considering we're a northern team going south to play schools that are outside earlier than us and all that. But yeah, this year it's just restricted kind of how big our groups can be. You know, we can't do some of the things we could do in the past, but it in some ways has made us break it down where we have smaller groups and we're more hands-on with guys, and we've gotten to know our guys even better. You know, due to the COVID, it might be longer hours and stuff for the coaching staff, but I think it's going to pay off this spring and hopefully going forward for the program.
Yeah, absolutely. This year we've been split up into, was it 4 to 5 groups, or 4 groups mainly. So you guys are doing double, triple, quadruple the amount of time that you usually do on a regular semester fall league for us.
Yeah, it's been more. I mean, the pitchers, there were 2 groups, and then we had 4 groups of position because we've got a bigger roster.
Yeah.
COVID's kept some guys here that wouldn't be here. I mean, you know, your lift buddy this morning, Ryan Bernardi's 7th year. I mean, so it's changed a lot of aspects, and it'll probably take a few years to shake things out with the roster and things like that. But no, we've been, despite having the bigger size and less, you know, not being able to have the bigger full team stuff. I mean, I think it's been a really productive fall. I think the most productive by far in my 5 years. So I'm looking forward to the spring.
Absolutely. That kind of brings me to my next question with you. Was it a struggle with the recruitment this year because we had so many returning guys that possibly should have been leaving last year, or just with, you know, trying to divvy out scholarship money and stuff like that? Like, how was recruitment this year?
It's affected more this year's class than last year's. Most of those guys had already signed in the fall. By the time we had started in the spring, we pretty much had our 2020 class locked in. But the 21 class, us not being able, is when I say us, Division II and Division I, not being able to go recruit this summer and see a lot of the kids play when, they're trying to figure out what schools to go visit in the fall and all that. So in September, I didn't have hardly any visits. Typically, I'm starting to get busy in September with recruits coming in, October even more, and then they're ready to try to sign some of those guys. And this year, I haven't signed any guys. I have some offers, some guys that have verbally said they're going to come, but I haven't had any NLI signed. So it's just pushed everything back, you know, and now I've been just busy with recruits the last few weeks, which is good. But typically I'm getting almost done with the 21 class, and this year I'm still in the middle of it. So yeah, it's just changed everything, but all the kids are in the same boat. They're all a little bit behind, it seems like.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel for the seniors and even the juniors in high school that have or weren't able to have a summer in order to showcase themselves, in order to be recruited. And I didn't even think about how hard it would have been as a coach trying to recruit those guys and not having enough material or video or whatever it is that you need to see to get those guys on the team. So definitely a big struggle this year trying to bring new guys in. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back shortly. And then 3, 2, 1. All righty, guys, welcome back. Here with Grant Hieb, the head coach of the USF baseball team. We're going to jump right back into it with the questions. Coach, what adaptations have you and the coaching staff made so far to ensure the fall season happened?
Well, I mean, it was basically adjusting to the rules that were given to us by, the NCAA, and then each institution in our conference kinds of seems to do things just a little differently. And so big one was having smaller groups. They broke the lifting into 5 groups, tried to keep roommates together, and just tried to keep contact with other guys as minimal as possible, because we did lose guys due to close contacts and other reasons all fall. It seemed like here and there we'd lose a guy, another guy would go down. But yeah, it made it interesting. It made it tough for us to sometimes practice plan, because we'd be literally on the way to practice and we'd lose 3 guys that were by somebody else who's getting tested and they're waiting on results. And so, yeah, it was just being, that's just part of coaching though, too. You got to be able to adapt, and you got to be able to baseball, we're one sport where the weather can change everything in a heartbeat. So I'm used to moving things around and being able to make adjustments quickly and on a short notice. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, you just kind of built in your DNA if you coach for a while that you got to be able to do that. But it's taking it to another level. But I think, like I said earlier, I think we've had a great fall. And I think, the guys, we had that initial quarantine for a few weeks of all athletics. And I think that sent the message to some guys like, hey, they ain't messing around. Guys need to be careful when they're off the field and just making smart decisions and wearing their mask and doing whatever the school recommends so that we can play ball. Because guys like you, probably your last year, that although you have eligibility, you're going to be done with your schooling. And so, guys are making that tough choice. Do I exhaust all 4 years of eligibility, or do I graduate and move on and go and get a job or whatnot? And so, yeah, it's just a lot of tough decisions for guys that I don't think they were expecting. And, I think all you guys being a year older, we're going to only be better this year. But I think that's going to be the case around the league. Like, everybody's got a lot of seniors back, and it's going to be a competitive league. But I'm expecting to be right in the mix. I think we got a chance to make the first conference tournament we've been in since I've been the head coach. And I think that's because of the hard work your group's put in the team, so.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I think the whole organization has learned how to kind of adapt and roll with the punches and get used to feeling out of sorts and uncomfortable, I guess is the way we are rolling this year with the fall season. And but going into the spring season, do you know the status of what we are to expect this year with baseball coming up?
Well, we're hoping the NCAA just took away 20% of our games, so we're at 40 already. And unfortunately, we don't get to go to Florida, which, my first few years we didn't go to Florida, and the last 2 we have, and it's been a big game changer. I feel like on the just the experience for the players, and the student athletes seem to enjoy, going to a week in nice weather and getting out of the cold after being in it for 2 months inside. So, yeah, it's not gonna be the same without Florida, but hopefully we can get on the field. I mean, basketball has been going. They've been starting to have tests once a week. And so if basketball can go, I feel like, we should be able to go. So we have a few sports, the winter sports ahead of us. So they're kind of hopefully paving the way. And we'll just have to kind of see. And hopefully by the time we start playing in March, flu season's behind us. Hopefully they have a vaccine. Who knows if it'll be available to the public or what, I don't know what the situation will be, but the more and more I hear about it, that can only help our chances, And so, yeah, hopefully we can play, but you never know. You see all these schools right now, the Division I basketball are getting shut down left and right because somebody's testing positive and the whole team's getting shut down. And so if that happened to us in baseball, that's 10 games of our conference season if we're shut down for 2 weeks. So guys are just gonna have to be more cautious and kind of have so almost like a bubble for a couple months where we can get our, because So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of a hit the ground running kind of year, especially since Florida and those Colorado trips are being or not taken away, but just I guess taken away from us. And
I believe it. Taken away is what I would say.
It feels like we're being robbed of a preseason, but it's all right. I think we're gonna just take the energy straight from working in the dome and straight onto the field and hopefully be successful this year.
And we only have four non-conference games at Truman State prior to conference. Typically we have 14. So yeah, we definitely lost a lot of non-conference games. So we're just, like you said, we're going to have to use what we can that first 4 games and hopefully have things rolling. So when we get started against Minot, we're ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, lastly, I just wanted to have you give your peace of mind of advice that you would give to any coach out there or anyone trying to better themselves for their team. Just it could be either coaches, it could be even players, someone who just wants to become a coach possibly in the future. What advice do you have for them?
You got to have a passion for it. You got to like to work with kids, and I do something in the game I love, and I get to work with younger guys and kind of just teach them. Baseball teaches you a lot about life, and so just get into the right, somewhere where you feel like you can grow and you can teach kids. And the main thing is just having a love for it, because you're not going to get rich at this level. Yeah, you might if you get to the top level, but it's fun. It's nice. It's something that I enjoy doing. And that's, my dad's a carpenter, my mom's a lawyer. So like there's 2 totally different aspects, but I always, was helping my dad. And I just realized, like, this is why I want to go to school, so I can go do something that I love. I didn't love building stuff and doing that kind of work. And so, yeah, it's fun. And, you work hard, so you want to win too. So, it's rewarding when you have good kids and you get it done on the field and off the field, and it's just a good group. And this year I'm fortunate to have a really good group. So hopefully it translates in the spring to us having a good season.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Coach. Well, that is all we have for JavaTalk today, guys. Thank you for joining in. Coach Hieb, appreciate you and being able to do this Zoom call virtually with me. Everybody have a blessed day and take care.
Thanks, Zane. Have a good one.
Thank you, Coach. You too.